Why, hello there. It is finally time to look at, well, not the last deck in fight from this set, because technically we still need to take a look at Cecilia for Neo Nectar, which technically I think came out last set, or like to the end of last set, but they always release them at the end now that it's like kind of like a weird kind of thing, period. But anyway, it's gonna be time to finally take a look at the blood, and it's the final deck and fight from this set, from like the actual set itself. And so we're gonna look at the list, and of course do the usual, go into some games. Of course, as usual, I want to remind you guys to check out my Twitch channel. Make sure you follow up and all that stuff. We're trying to build a community, and we have a nice stream schedule going as well, so I implore you guys to give it a look and see if you like it, and join us for, like, especially you get a nice like early preview for these deck and fights, because when a new set comes out I do most of my playtesting on stream, so you'll see a lot of like the decisions between like changing out cards or how I build my decks, and also like about like we review the sets early on stream as well, so there's a lot of perks to just hopping in. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So Vermillion, this was a build that I needed to really go back and forth. Like, I changed this build up a fair bit when I was building around my deck. I dropped the girl that gains 3k when you retire something completely, for example, and just kind of went for this much heavier like anti-retire and just like anti-retire slash like searching build. My Dungaree also changed to reflect that as well. But let's go through the deck itself and see what it is. So first things first, we have Vermillion. This is the ranked reward Vermillion. So the skill, everyone's familiar with it by now. When break 4 commas 2 gains 2k and the ability to attack the whole front row in one attack, and when he attacks the Vanguard gains 3k. So this Vermillion, even if you don't have the limit break, is a 14k attacker on Vanguard Circle, which is like a 22 with the 8k boost, or 21 with 7, so that's very attractive. That's something that like the cross-ride doesn't actually have this like extra 4k, but it has the passive from being a cross-ride. So that's regular Vermillion, and then our key card for the deck is the blood. So the blood says limit break 5, count on +3 for that turn, gain 5k and the crit, which the normal Vermillion does not, and the following ability to attack the front row in one attack. Then he has cross-ride with regular Vermillion, which means he becomes a 13k base, and when he is within a cross-ride, his limit break 5 becomes limit break 4. So basically you can use this count on +3 limit break at 4 damage instead. So people, when this first got revealed, a lot of people were like, oh my god, they kept him at 3 damage? I mean, at 3 Cannon Blast when like Platina Azel went down to 1? Like, why would you not buff this, etc, etc? But in reality, it's not that bad, because this deck does have pretty consistent countercharging, and it's like, if you're not too greedy with your Cannon Blast, like in most games, if you are aggressive enough in the early game and you push hard enough, you only need one front row wipe to actually destroy them, and then you just use the intercept sealers to, seal the deal, quite literally. But the blood is, while I also wish it was Cannon Blast 2, the Count Blast 3 is still workable, and a lot of the top players in ranked actually play this deck. Like, I think Ayaneru, that is one of the Korean players that is pretty consistently in the top ladder. Like, after I show the deck, we're going to check the ladder, and I'm sure they're going to be on there, because I know they're grinding for the Platina Azel. So they're grinding with the blood, and I was like, if the top player is grinding with the blood, there must be something in there. Like, must be something I'm missing. So I played the deck a bit more, and I was like, it's actually pretty decent. Like, we even had some win streaks with it on stream, so that was also pretty cool. Then Vermillion got a 12k attacker. So this is just if you have Vermillion named Vanguard, 12k attacker. Very nice. Helps you take care of like pesky 11k rear guards, as well as just like hitting your opponent's 11k Vanguard without a boost, which is also nice. You don't need to commit an extra card from your hand. Of course, we still run the Jins, 14k attacker, very attractive. And our one backup grade 3 is the Dungaree. Run the normal Dungaree instead of the Unlimited, because Unlimited, he's Count Blast 2 to retire 1, and he only gains that extra crit if you have 3 cards in the bind, which is very hard to build up if you don't run a dedicated Dungaree deck. So whereas the old Dungaree, he basically just says like Count Blast 1 to pop something, so it's like, it's much more easy to use in that sense. So I prefer to use this as our one-of, and I draw into it pretty often actually, oddly enough. Then this is an addition that I really like now in Narukami decks, which is Stormbringer Dragoon, or Dragon rather. So I only run 2 because I only have 2, but honestly 2 is pretty much perfect in this. I would maybe run a third and cut one of these, but 2 is actually pretty good. His skill says, when the attack hits a Vanguard, you count almost 2 and look at the top 5 cards of your deck and add a grade 3 from among them to your hand. Now you might be thinking, oh, why would you use that? That's like, you're taking out a trigger from your deck. But the reason why that's good is that a draw trigger is like, yeah, sure, it's extra 5k power, but it's going to draw you an extra card that you know don't really have control over what it's going to be, you know, unless you're playing like Tsukiyomi or something. Whereas this, like, yes, it takes out a trigger from your deck, which is a 5k check that you could have gotten, but it gives you a certain card that you actually wanted. So, for example, you would, like, you don't use this all the time, but for example, if you have the blood in your hand but not the regular Vermillion, you want to slam this guy down and just use that skill because you want to find the regular Vermillion before the cross ride. That's like the worst thing about this deck, is riding the cross ride before regular Vermillion, because that like destroys you, that ruins you, because you're sitting on 11k base and it will only be useful at 5 damage. And it doesn't even increase in power like normal Vermillion does. It doesn't gain that 3k, you know, on attack. So you really want to find the old, like the first Vermillion to actually, you know, get the cross ride through. Of course, counterchargers, Garuda, very important. On hit, countercharge 1, super important in this deck especially. 3 Shidens to seal the intercept. You can run 4 and drop one of the 12k attackers, but I've been really liking the 12k attackers. So I'm running 7 intercept sealers, and it's been working out pretty well. Then of course PGs, nothing new there. I run 8k vanillas because they make good numbers with like with the Jins, and like with your cross ride makes 21, which is also very nice. So if you have like double intercept sealer, you can go like rearguard, Vanguard, even if they like 6 damage heal, it's still going to be like 26 if you use the Vermillion skill, or like, you know, 21 if not. So it's a good number, just like if they heal on you or like get defensives and stuff like that. So I like it for the numbers. And I've seen a lot of people run the 8k vanillas. Some people run only 1 Rising Phoenix and play a 4th one. I run 2 just because you rewrite sometimes, and technically you have the grade 1 and the grade 2 in Soul, and then you get the starter. So if at any point you would like end up rewriting, like not just like the Vermillion, but let's say you literally have like, you know, the ability to use this skill again, you might, but honestly, that's not the reason why I run it. The reason why I run it is because in this deck, I just want to hit it. I just want to hit it, and very often, like, my 1 copy in my Dungaree deck just goes to damage zone, or just don't find it, don't see it. And in this deck, that extra draw for the 2 Soul Blasts is very appreciated. And it's gonna be, I don't know if it's gonna be a staple forever. I know that in Eradicators back in the day, we still ran 1 or 2 Rising Phoenixes just for that, like, Soul Blast to draw, even though it wasn't an Eradicator. But we'll see how it works in the future. Then, of course, we have the Ryan. So when placed, you seal the intercept ability of a grade 2, so of course we're running 4 of that. It's the tech for this deck. And the starter is the Saishin, of course, because Saishin, interestingly, Saishin is a little bit less useful now, because there's not that many good starters running around. Like, the only starters you really want to kill are like maybe Mecha Trainer, Conroe if they didn't use it already, and then also the Dungaree starter is very, very good, the Dan, I think, or Dai, or yeah, Dan I think it was called. But apart from that, there's not that many. A lot of starters now go to the Soul very early, like Eric. So like if you just like go second and attack them, there's no reason to like not attack them, to not let them use a starter like Eric. Like, it's such an underwhelming effect. You might as well use Saishin for like a grade 1 and just pop their grade 1, you know, that's much more worth it. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation where like Saishin actually is getting less useful, but boy, when the Break Ride decks come out, you know he's going to be useful, like sniping the Jewel Knight starter and stuff like that. That's going to be important. But anyway, let's get into the deck and see how it works. Alright, let's go. I realized my game sound wasn't on either. Oh, we're playing against somebody from a team, Paspare, and they're doing stuff on their YouTube with their team, which is pretty cool. So this will be either Royals or thingy. Okay, so, ooh, this is a perfect hand to show so much, actually. Oh my god, this is actually an amazing hand. I'm going to talk about it after we mulligan. Oh, it's so good. Okay, here's what's going to happen. So, basically, there's this cool little thing where... Ooh, playing as Angels, pretty nice. So, we're going to get to do this cool thing where we can ride the Garuda, and then basically hit with a Stormbring, and then attack with a Garuda, and swing for like basically like for counter charge, which is really, really good. So that's gonna be really nice, and I'm pretty excited about that. Of course, if they ride the pony, that makes it a little bit tricky. Actually makes it very tricky, so I have to think about that. If they ride the grade 2 pony, my Garuda will not hit, so I need to think about maybe putting the starter somewhere else, but it's so like inconvenient otherwise that I'm not sure. Now I'll still go with this. We'll try to go for the you know, refund. Alright, let's just swing for 1 damage. No need to get too fancy. They're probably gonna put back the starter. I mean, there's no real reason to keep it there. because they also know that I can kill it. Okay, there's the Ermiel, or Hermieres, whatever she's called. I always forget now. Alright, so let's see if he rides the grade 2 pony. That's gonna make things change. That will make me adapt my plays. Oh, he has it! Okay. We have to think now. I say that like it's something new. Alright, let's see what they get. PG at the bottom, that's good info for me. It's not in the damage zone where it's easily accessible. Okay, we see a regular Vermillion in damage, but what we need now is, I'm going to show you the use of Stormbring. You know, the use of Stormbring, it's so great. So, we're basically going to go and like, swing. It's gonna put us, ooh, never mind, we got it. Ah, maybe I don't need to be that YOLO then. Maybe I don't need to YOLO that hard. I'm just thinking about it now. Because it could still give me another rear guard, which isn't bad. But it's just that the defensive power-up is so annoying that maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I'll just ride the Stormbring and just use it and get the counter charge back later. Because I have grade 1s in hand, so it's kind of okay. But I probably should, I'm going to call the Garuda, because I'm at 7 cards, so if I find something off the Stormbring, I'm going to actually be in a bit of a pickle. So I'll put this to the back, just because I don't want to overdraw. Especially if like I hit a draw trigger here and then found something, I would be overdrawing already. So let's just see here. Use the Stormbring, they get a second damage, we use the Stormbring effect. Worst case is when you find a heal. What we didn't, we found the blood. So that's a good rear guard for me next turn. So I have like a full board setup, which is very nice. So that's pretty good. I can basically now just ride up to the Vermillion and then, you know, kind of like sit around, steal some intercepts, try to like push, and then the turn after maybe go for the blood. So we'll see. Okay, Metatron comes through. Armoros, so basically he's gonna get to actually draw a card here. Let's see. His goal is not to push damage, actually. He wants to just draw cards. Of course, this will still be hitting, but he just wants to draw cards. Like, the thing with Metatron, if you watch my Metatron deck and fight, like, that deck really takes its time to just blow up. But you can actually use the Metatron. If you can get to Limit Break early, you can use the Metatron to push your opponent to, like, from, like, 1 to 5, you know, or 1 to 4 really easily. Because of the way the deck works. Well, 1 to 4, not 1 to 5. It doesn't really have the restand unless you have the Hermieres going first, then you can do 1 to 5. So, let's see. Ooh, that's kind of good. That's kind of good. So we're going to ride the normal Vermillion here. We don't run self-damagers. I should have maybe talked about that, because it's not that necessary. Like, even if you don't have the, you know, defensive, you're still kind of chilling. I think I might want to set up double intercept here and then hold the blood for later. I think that's actually a fine play on its own. So we're going to go for this kind of like, I don't want to say YOLO, but not exactly the most consistent play. Let's put it that way. It's kind of weird, actually. It's a bit of a strange play. Because I can go, like, thing is, this Vermillion will not hit. It's only a 19, so I can go like rear, van. But then I'm putting him to 4, but at least then my drive checks are still safe, you know. I can still check a heal and heal it off, and I still have all 4 left in deck. So I think I'll play like I'll hit the rear, because Armoros will put in too much work actually if I keep her up. So I think it's more important to like get the counter charge here, so I can actually like still use some counter blast here and there. And then you have to time the ride up. You have to time the ride up on your Vermillion really carefully. And see there, it's like I would have not gotten that counter charge otherwise. So good thing we did it like this. So 19, and we get the heal off, so that's also a good thing that we kept that in mind, you know, and didn't go too ham on the face. You know, it's good to go aggro, but, you know, you gotta keep all things in consideration. They hit a draw, which is fine. I don't really mind. Like, even if they hit draws, that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you know, they draw all 4 PGs, and they draw all their no-CLs and, like, their ponies to do, like, the power play. But let's see if he can push me around, because for him, the most important thing right now is, like, setting up a Hermieres that can actually, like, you know, deliver. Let's put it that way. Uses the no-CL, puts the Hermieres in there. I'm probably going to use the... Oh, self-damager, okay. I guess that's a potential play, too. You gotta set up double grade 1s for that, though. So I wonder what he's going to do. He's just going to set up the ponies, I guess? Okay, putting the no-CL in. Probably taking the Hermieres out. Yeah, I thought so. So I guess he's going to try... I'm trying to think what he's going to do. I'm very curious about this. I guess he's holding the Hermieres for a later turn. And now he can use the Metatron to use the no-CL and just go like bop bop, like in and out. Let's see if he does that. I'm curious about this guy. The only downside is that because we healed, we're not going to get to use Vermillion yet. Sometimes in those situations, you actually want to just ride up. Just ride up and, like, have the cross-ride base. But against this deck, it doesn't really matter because, like, it's not like Aqua Force where they struggle to hit 13 with most of their attacks. You know, this deck, it'll make big attacks with everything, you know. It really doesn't struggle against that. So, for that, it's, like, it's easy. Here's a really interesting thing to consider. He has to stack a trigger on the Hermieres. Like, that's the play he has to do. He doesn't get it. So, the thing is if he would have gotten the Hermieres with one trigger, he would swung with 15 to face, Hermieres procs, call something from damage, and then he gets to attack with a 19k boost. It would have been 21k boost, actually, which is really insane. But unfortunately, he doesn't get to do that. But he can now use Hermieres to call out a grade 2 from the damage zone, which is nice because that gives him an extra intercept. And I don't have, as you can see, I don't have Vermillion to be of use yet. So I think I'm really debating if it's worth to oh my god, look at all those Hermieres in his hand. There's 3 of them in the damage zone. Crazy, crazy. But one of them will go back, but it's gonna be the face down, of course. And then he puts the heal back there as well, gets a double shuffle, very nice, 5 cards in hand. Had to call down a bunch, but as you can see, you know, gets a lot of cards. Okay, now I have to think, do we go to the blood? Because this, like, my opponent's deck, it doesn't really care if I'm on a cross-ride or not. That's the only downside, is like, they don't care about what you're sitting on. The thing is that I want to use my Saishin to actually pop that pony now, because that will get very annoying, and from the way he moved that last game, I feel like it doesn't have too many in hand. And he didn't have any in damage zone either. So in terms of attacks, this would be going to be 19 versus 18, it doesn't really make a difference. I think I'm going to cross-ride. Just for the number, and then to, like, put fear in, you know? Alright, there we go. Zabratto. I hope the music wasn't too loud until now. I just noticed that it's kind of loud. But anyway, let's not stall too long and start setting up to deliver Fatality. So we're gonna seal Intercept on the no-seal. Let's actually, it's the one I actually want to hit. So that's a bit stupid. Like, maybe I should have thought about that for another second. Okay, here's what we do. Here's what we do. We're gonna swing at this, and I'm gonna swing with the Vermillion because I want to use Saishin's effect to pop the pony. I definitely should have. Yeah, I should have taken out the no-seal. Well, if he hits a defensive, okay, never mind. I'm gonna come after that PG. I don't care now. Nothing can stop me now. Okay, no defensives checked. So we're gonna just slot that in to get rid of the pony. Like, no-seal can stay around, especially if he wants to ride up to Shamsiel here, but being able to smack face is more important. I guess they're both kind of damaging, except that he would need to heal to actually use the self-damager, so yeah, no-seal is more versatile. Alright, but I'm in a pretty good spot because I have 1 intercept and 2 PG, so even if he, like, does some kind of miracles with, like, Hermieres, he rises. Huh? What happened? I'm so confused. Guys, I actually need to talk to you guys. Wait, is he just stopping? Does he have 3 PGs in hand and he just, like, or 2 PGs in hand and he's just, like, stopping my... But you could have at least attacked my rear. Naze? Doshite? I'm so confused. Why did he right ahead of me? Guys, when I'm playing normally... Oh, he actually does. Is this might be some setup. Is this some weird setup? I don't get it. You see, when I'm playing on my own with, like, just, you know, just normal Vanguard 0, I play against just your average Joe, you know, regular players that do all kinds of stuff, you know, normally. But then I press record and these things happen and I'm just so confused. Why did he do? Is that just his way of conceding? I really don't get it. I'm so confused. Like he could have still turned it around in so many different ways. I just don't get it. Wow, that guys, I'm really confused about what just happened. I'm seriously confused. Like, why? All right, let's get on to the second game now. My cat came to visit, so you might hear a random meow here and there, maybe. But let's see, maybe we can get to Legend 2 with this. But yeah, this deck is, I mean, it's good. It really is pretty damn good. And Vermillion the Blood, like, while it does feel overcosted still to me, I think it's still a pretty decent card. So, oh, we get a mirror match, maybe. It's either it's a mirror match or it's against Hungary. Either case, it's a good matchup because against Hungary you can like snipe their starter, which is ooh, oh, this isn't bad at all. What the hell? Okay, literally the same hand. Like, this is really not bad because like, okay, it's a perfect mirror match. You get all the bloods, all the bloods. That's great. And it's gonna be like a starter war where like neither of us will want to snipe each other's starter. It's gonna be more of a question of who gives it up first. So if he doesn't attack me, like, thing is, the weird thing in the Vermillion mirror is that technically the person using the Saishin is losing out. Because well, in a way you're getting extra soul, which doesn't matter that much, but you're actually like losing a counter blast. But if you use Garuda, it's like whatever. But basically both players will lose. So either you either don't use it and don't snipe their Saishin, and you just wait for another grade 1 to come out, so that way they feel pressured to not call grade 1s, or you just like, you know, you do something else. It's really weird in that sense, it's really weird, but I'm gonna actually try to... I have all these like rear guards basically in hand now. I'm just gonna basically bash him a little bit, because I can still heal down. So like I said, you gotta be a bit aggro here and there. I don't think I'm gonna use my Saishin yet. I want him to use his. I don't care about the soul. I don't care about the soul. I want him to use his. Okay, he has to draw. Because now he's gonna feel pressured to not call grade 1s, because I might snipe them. So that's like the power play. Or not the power play, it's like the mind game. Where you're like, well, if you're not gonna use Saishin, neither am I. So it's pretty interesting, how this works out. Okay, he gets his own Garuda set up. Let's see, does he have another rear guard to call down? I want to see it. Oh, he's mirroring me. Look, he's mirroring me. He's doing it. Alright. Oh, the perfect mirror. Oh my god. This guy, he's doing it. He's doing it. I'm excited. Let's see, let's see. Okay, just a draw. Not a perfect mirror. You could have done better, friend. You could have done better. Alright, we get a Garuda. Will he use his? Oh, he used it. He's one counter blast down. Well, technically not really. So that's the thing, like, I wanted that pressure of him not calling a grade 1. But he was like, no, I'm gonna call grade 1s. You don't get a say in it. And so here we're gonna ride Vermillion. Pretty straightforward here, actually. We're gonna give him 3 damage, optimally. And basically, like, I'm gonna call this to swing at the rear, and then call this to swing at the van after we've swung. Or this will also be 14, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway. Could have called another with the blood, but I don't want to reveal too many, because then you'll start thinking I have, like, you know, I'm, like, jacked. So, reveal minimal information. Ooh, he hits a heal! That's a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. I mean, I'm 1 to pass now. Might still pass. Still have a fair bit of triggers in deck. No, the PGs! Crap, crap, crap. Okay. No intercepts to my name, but at least he doesn't have Limit Break to win the game. Unintentional rhyme to the rescue. Alright. Let us see. Goes into his own Vermillion. Rising Phoenix. There's that Phoenix. Like I said, it's pretty useful. It is pretty damn useful. Not gonna lie. Alright, here we go. What are you gonna show me, friend? Ooh, okay. He's gonna go for... What is he countercharging? Okay, okay, okay. I want to see what he's doing. But I don't see what he's doing. Okay, he's gonna give me Limit Break. That's the first thing. Yes. You are going to give me Limit Break. You're gonna get a draw too. Wow, good for you, dude. Proud of you, son. You've come a long way. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, if I can pop off like that next turn, I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good, not gonna lie. Alright. You can take me to 5. Man, take me to town, man. Oh, never mind. We're gonna stop at 4. Alright. Okay, here's an interesting thought. A thought experiment, if you will. Not really. Is that... Ooh, that's kind of spicy. Okay. I'm thinking of just riding up. Because then I can bash, go bash, bash, and then approach him with a crit, and then if he doesn't like my approach, he will PG it, which is pretty nice. I kind of like that. I think I'll do that. I need that kind of like pressure now to win this matchup, because he's been popping off really hard, and I don't like him popping off too hard. So we're gonna use the blood. Ultimate breaker. Get a big thunder going, and that extra ability. Gonna call this down. Doesn't actually matter though. I'm just doing it in case he gets defensive, because I don't want this crit to go to waste. And this Kennel has 3, more importantly, to go to waste. That's gonna be a big yikes moment. Let's put it that way. And it's like, yeah, I could have, you know, not swung at the rear, but it's like, let's not kid ourselves. We're doing this. Ooh, we can actually use the blood twice. Would you look at that? Like my Jin is not hitting. I don't have a booster for it. And I theoretically could have called I could have called this to here, but as you can see, that would have been a bit risky because we didn't check any triggers. Oh no, we checked the heal, right? So like, I guess it would have come through, but you don't know that. So I didn't want to risk my Counterblast 3 like just dying to a defensive, right? That's like the last thing you want. So I hope that makes sense why I did that. I don't really think it's a misplay. I think it's alright. But let's see where this goes. So now, will he cross right up? I've kept him from getting Limit Break, but I've kept myself with this kind of like field of, well, I mean, please give me 2 damage so I can use the blood again, but no more than that, please. Thank you. I think what he's gonna do is he's gonna attack with Vermillion and give the trigger to the Desert Gunner, and then take out my Jin or something. Probably that's what's gonna happen. Oh, he's saving his Counterblast. That's interesting. This will hit for 19, so it hits. He gets to draw as expected, You know, all according to Keikaku. Okay, let's see here. Okay, we got our own Stormbring in there. Now, oh, he doesn't take out the Jin. Okay, he knows. He's up to something. He's up to something, guys. Okay, let's see here. What is he packing here? Oh my god, these Vermillions, man. I just want intercepts. Or anything else, really. But you're feeding me this? Am I a joke to you? Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. This time we're gonna attack with Vermillion first. So now I'm kind of regretting this not being here. But I still think it's fine. So if he has PGs, they're gonna go. If he doesn't, they won't go. Okay, yeah, he does. Now it's like the situation where I don't mind losing my front row because it's kind of useless. And I only called this Vermillion in case I checked the trigger. I could give it here, push him to 5. But, okay, that's a PG gone. That's better than nothing. So I'm still in a heal kind of situation, which isn't great. But, I mean, it's better than nothing. But, I mean, you kind of see, like, the image paints itself in a way. You know, it's like, part of the reason why we're doing worse is because, like, we're not drawing our pieces. And, like, we haven't been hitting draws, like, at all. And we, you know, you kind of see the differences in the field, in the hand, how much you could deploy, how much you could choke me, like how much I could choke him if I tried, you know, so it really, the picture paints itself, let's put it that way. And would you look at that? He's like, you have a PG, I will kill you. But no, I did not. Alright, pretty interesting. I definitely don't think the Shiden decision made any impact there. If anything, the only impact was the... Oh no, yeah, the Shiden. The only decision that could be debated, I think, is the where I called the Desert Gunner grade 1. That was the only thing there. But yeah, I think the games were pretty good to kind of show how the deck more or less works. Like Vermillion, the other useful thing I didn't talk about when I was presenting the card is that like the crit gain is good to choke out their Limit Break. But of course it's not as consistent as Dungaree, so you don't want to really like rely on that too much. It's still better to go for that aggressive game plan that we had with the Angel Feather game as well, because by being more aggressive in the early game and like intercept stealing and stuff like that, you can deliver that final blow much easier. So yeah, that's the deck. Before we go though, for today's video, I wanted to check if Ayaneru, the person that's been piloting Vermillion to the top tiers, how they're doing, because I know they were like, I think they got to Legend 10 in the first like 6 hours of the game. It was like, of the new season, it was like something insane. So I feel like they might be up here. I feel it in my bones. Let's take a look. Are they? cheese sticks. I think the cheese sticks or Uzumi, I'm not sure, is one of our foreign friends. Oh, there's Aren, the winner. The person that put Narukami on the table. Is that the right word? Oh, Dotto gang. 2nd place. Also up here. 10th place. Ah, there we go, Ayaneru. Legend 14. So Legend 14, you know, on day 3, 61st place with Vermillion. So looks like it's going pretty good. Looks like they slowed down though on their climb after the first day because they really they went turbo on that. So, but I mean, this Platinum Hazel is pretty. So a lot of people want it. But yeah, so that's basically it for today's video. This was the feature of Vermillion the Blood. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, I like showing these games where we win, where we lose. You know, you can kind of figure out as you look at it why we lost and why we won as well. Because, you know, this is still Vanguard. You know, sometimes triggers do determine some things. So that's something to keep in mind, you know, when you're playing as well. You know, don't get too tilted at it. Sometimes, like, if your opponent pops off, it's like they popped off, it's okay, you know. Sometimes these things happen. But yeah, so that's basically it for today's video, and look forward to a bunch of upcoming content. And on that note, that's basically going to be it for me. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.